Hey friends, welcome back to Chinez Tarot. If you are new here, my name's Chinez, and this is my platform for channeled messages and spiritual guidance for the individuals looking to master their inner world. Before we get into this reading, I just want to remind you guys that you can connect with me through my newsletter on Substack, Static and Ripples. It's where I flesh out a lot of deeper spiritual conversations about what it is that we're actually going through in this sort of age of Aquarius energy. And I think it could be a really valuable resource for people who particularly connect to the videos on this channel. And you can also book personal readings with me on my website, all of which is linked below. So let's get right into this reading. Okay, so we have Divine Feminine in the upright position, water signs, deadline in the reverse, around fall, around summer. And what's interesting is in a lot of my personal readings that I just do daily to connect into my own energy, to clear my own energy field, to prepare for collective readings, the energy of timing and being more specific about timing has been coming up a lot recently. We have family in the reverse position, ghost, jealousy in the reverse position, and emotions. And then we have the card at the bottom of the deck in the back there. And as I'm shuffling our clarifying messages to pull out what these energies are, because these are masculine energies that are connected to you. So if you are listening to this reading right now, what's coming up is more than likely you are a divine feminine energy, and what I'm reading right now are masculine energies that are currently connected to you. I'm actually just going to adjust the camera for 1 second, so you're just going to notice a movement. Okay, great, that's perfect. Now I feel like you can see everything better. And as I'm shuffling those clarifying cards, we have the Queen of Swords that popped out in the upright position and the Ten of Cups in reverse. So what I'm getting immediately from this energy is this masculine energy that is in your field is recognizing your level of discernment and something that has shifted and changed in what you're coming across as, or how they're receiving you in the way that you are moving about your life. Like whether you're connected to this masculine energy or not, there is a perception of you that has shifted where they feel like your head is on straight and you are moving towards what feels like your destiny, or you're moving smart, you're moving intelligently through the world. And this is something that is definitely coming across a bit intimidating to this masculine energy, but it's also very admirable. And then with that Ten of Cups in reverse energy, there is also this connection being made that whatever transpired in this connection with this masculine may have stopped a level of happiness for them, but it didn't stop your happiness, or this is their perception of you from the outside looking in. There is this deep energy where this masculine is feeling a deep level of overall dissatisfaction, oh my gosh, with life. I'm even tripping over my words, like they haven't vocalized these things, or they're just starting to vocalize these things with people around them, how deeply unhappy they are about things, and they're reflecting on their connection with you, or they're looking at you and they're seeing you in such a headstrong place. And so there is this internal feeling about that, and maybe that's why we're getting this jealousy in reverse, but we'll clarify that along the way. But I also feel like this is just their outside perception of you. And this is also, when we're talking about masculine energies attached to you, take this as it resonates and leave what doesn't. It could also talk about your internal masculine energy realizing the depth of unhappiness or dissatisfaction of your lived experience because your feminine energy has become so much more discerned. So let's go ahead and pull those clarifiers. With Divine Feminine, we have the Two of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, and the Three of Swords in reverse. So this energy of this masculine is in a state of feeling very heartbroken or in some sort of deep pain that is coming from a reflective place. Like they're finally looking at how their relationship transpired with you, and it's almost like they've been forced into finally understanding what empathy means, like finally understanding that the way you treat people actually matters. And it's like this masculine was able to separate themselves from those feelings in the past and really disassociate from how other people may feel by the way that they treated them. Because with this 10 of Pentacles in reverse, this masculine didn't see the value in you, in their connection, and actually had a sort of low vibrational point of view about value in general. And their plans were always very short-sighted and quick. They never actually thought with any kind of real depth about what they wanted out of life or what was really going to make them feel fulfilled. And as they're sitting in what feels like some sort of separate energy from you, they are realizing how much pain they're actually in and how much they didn't value the divinity of their connection with you. That's how it feels, from an external point of view. And if this were an internal point of view or an internal masculine point of view, it feels like a level of disappointment in how much one has not valued their inner feminine energy and hasn't appreciated the wisdom of what their feminine body has been trying to tell them about the way that they live their lives, about feeling drained, about feeling like they're not, being creative, being seen, feeling fulfilled, getting rest, rejuvenating, being able to act intuitively, being able to, lead your life in more of, a cyclical seasonal way, as opposed to, the masculine, action oriented, start to finish kind of way, and feeling the pain of ignoring that on an internal level because the masculine energy was very focused on how to build externally, but it's feeling like they ultimately didn't build that foundation. And so is now looking toward, plans for the future. So this could be external or internal. And then we have water sign energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. So those could be prominent placements for anyone connecting with this reading. But it is also talking about the emotional body and the intuitive body, as well as, shadow areas when it comes to transformation and evolution. And what's coming up a lot for this particular masculine energy is evolving their thoughts around being providers and about having something to give in relationships, because there was this perception in the past that to give to a divine feminine energy, which is now coming up twice with this Empress in reverse and this divine feminine up top here, to give to a divine feminine doesn't minimize you, which is how this masculine energy felt. If this is internal, it could come across as to pour into my feminine energy doesn't minimize my need for security or my need for stability in my lived experience. And there was just this lack of, or it feels like this lack of internal sense of security within yourself, within your own personality, how you are, how you show up in the world, and not feeling like centering your feminine energy was worth it or worth your time. And externally, it's feeling like, a masculine energy that thought that if they gave to you, that it was somehow exposing their own insecurities, or it was exposing that. It's almost like they saw it as giving you leverage over them. And it was really, it's really a, I'm not thinking of the word low vibrational is coming to mind, but that's not the word that I want to say. But it's really just a short-sighted way of looking at the give and a take in a relationship with a person, to feel like somehow it's minimizing you the more you give to this feminine, as opposed to the way that they're now understanding with this water sign energy through reflection, that to give to a divine feminine only rejuvenates you. It only adds to you. It only gives you the ability to be able to give more abundantly to not only yourself, but to whatever you produce with that feminine, whether it's a family, a business, a friendship, or just a community. Like, to give to feminine energy doesn't somehow take away from you. And that thought process was built from low self-esteem from this masculine energy. Feeling like if they hoard, everything of value, then that makes them valuable. And what happened was, what feels like you walked away from this connection and they still didn't feel that value. One of the things that has also been coming up in personal readings is this idea of like timelines going out the window. So, and I'm seeing this a lot in readings recently, where a lot of masculines who felt like they either had more time to make decisions toward feminine energy are now feeling like they have a lot less time. And I think this is due to an energetic response of a lot of masculine energies realizing that feminines are no longer playing around with them. This reminds me of a TikTok video that I saw recently where a man asked ChatGPT, I don't know how you feel about AI, but this was what was happening in the video. This man asked ChatGPT how many women between the ages of like 18 and 35, or 18 to 40, or whatever the case may be, will be single in 2030. And ChatGPT said about 50% or more. And so I think that a lot of masculine energies, although we know that feminine and masculine energy isn't gender specific, it's about those who resonate in that way, but nevertheless, men are our physical masculine manifestation. I think a lot of masculines are feeling like the time doesn't exist anymore. The clock that they thought that they were going to run out to the last minute, the clock doesn't exist. The clock is off the wall. So with this deadline in reverse coming with the Six of Swords, Knight of Swords in reverse, Knight of Wands in reverse, this is about wanting to move forward and have clarity sooner rather than later. And it's very masculine-like to want to rush through the process of what is actually spiritual development, which is what they're going through. It's about them coming into their inner truth as opposed to acting on impulse. And so, despite the fact that many masculines feel like the clock is out the window and they need to make things happen now, immediately, spiritually, they're not going to be able to move forward into the calmer waters that they're looking for until they come into that inner truth, because they're being held back spiritually from making rash or with the Nine of Pentacles right away, with you need to make secure, discerned decisions. You are not allowed to be this Knight of Wands anymore, because as a collective, the masculine has exhausted that. They've exhausted the proverbial clock, and the clock is now gone. So coming with this energy of around fall, okay, this is actually literal timing. So although these readings are timeless whenever you read them, whenever you resonate with them, it's for you at that time and you're meant to catch it at that time. But in the time of this recording, it is just the beginning of summertime, and this energy of around fall that we're reading into now is really talking about actual seasons and timing, and talking about how a lot of masculine energy feels like by the fall they need to be in a secure place, and they're feeling the pressure of this they're feeling the pressure of this internal deadline that they've now put on themselves, and they want to be making solid moves forward around the time where the harvest comes in, which is usually around fall. So a lot of these masculines are likely withholding any sort of affection at this time. What I find interesting, though, is this masculine energy had always withheld affection in some way. At least that's the way that it's coming across. And for them, they're only realizing that now, and that's what's giving them this energy or this desire to want to move forward into a future where they're being more emotionally open and they feel stable in that. But they feel like strategically now is why they're holding back their affection, because they want to be able to present it a certain way moving forward. But it's like they need to understand that they were holding back those affections the entire time, and that's why we are more than likely in separation or in very very low communication with this masculine energy. Okay, yeah. All of the knights came out, by the way, in this reading. So this definitely screams like heavy maturing of the masculine collective, a lot of things being rapidly developed for the masculine collective. I'm seeing 818, I'm seeing 777. Also, with this energy around summer, this feels like current, present masculine energy, the state of which most of these masculines may be in right now, where they're trying to make moves, right? We know that they're being spiritually held back from coming forward until they become more honest internally about how they contributed to the circumstance, but they're trying to make moves. A lot of these masculines may even reach out at a point in the summertime romantically, just to test the waters, just to see how you respond to them, even though they're not planning on making a full step until more closer to the fall. The reason why they may do that, and do not accept breadcrumbs, by the way, do not accept breadcrumbs. Do not accept breadcrumbs. I can't say that enough, because it does have some of that energy on it where they want to try to come forward a little bit to see if you're still open. There's a way to say, hey, my heart is still open to this connection, but if you're not ready to move forward, we don't need to go back and forth. And by the time you're ready to move forward, I hope that I'm still in that same place, but that's really up to you, whether or not you're going to prioritize whatever you need to do in order to get into that place emotionally to show up in this relationship with me. There's a way to say it like that, as opposed to just accepting whatever little breadcrumbs that they may try to throw at you over the course of the summer. So just look out for that, because there is this energy where they are feeling just intensely incomplete without some sort of stability in their connection to you or with you. Okay, so with this energy of family in this reverse position, wow, with the Two of Cups. So a lot of these masculines do feel like they want a partnership. I'm seeing 2-2. With this energy, they want the relationship that maybe they potentially ran away from, or even maybe vocalized that they didn't want in the past, or reluctant towards having this absence with you, because the next energy after this is ghost. And I'm not necessarily, they may not have ghosted you, or they could have, but you could have very well ghosted them. And they're now sitting with that feeling. It feels very like new to them, this energy that they're sitting with, and really understanding that, wow. So I'm hearing very clearly that like everyone needs someone to come home to, and I'm not creating that for myself. Like there's this realization that internally this masculine does want community that they act like they don't need, and their connection to community was through their relationship with you, where there was an opportunity there that they're now seeing come to fruition. And it's sort of wearing on the walls of reluctance that they had up about this relationship in the past. Okay, yeah, so when I was saying like with this ghost energy, either one of you silently quit. That's definitely what it feels like. But there's also, wow, okay, with this Page of Pentacles, I didn't even pull the third card yet, but with this Page of Pentacles and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse under this ghost energy, they felt like when you disconnected, or when communication became less or died down, that they weren't losing anything because of that communication going away in their life. And they didn't realize it was sort of turning them onto what they're calling the wrong path. What they're saying is, not how they want their life to go, not the trajectory that they wanted this relationship to go. They were choosing what they felt like was very safe with this Page of Pentacles. And so they thought that by making a safe choice that they would be in a place of peace, and they're not with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. They're very, they feel the restlessness of being on the wrong path. Okay, Nine of Pentacles in reverse with this energy. And this is because the safe path that they chose does not have value. And that's the gotcha. That's what happens when you choose fear. When you choose fear, you realize there isn't a lot of stock in fear. So with this energy of jealousy in the reverse position, oh gosh, Nine of Swords. So I did feel like, because, initially we got this Queen of Swords energy. This is how they were viewing you, and feeling like they feel deeply unhappy, but they don't feel like you gave up your unhappiness. With this jealousy in reverse, what stresses them out the most is that they don't know how to not choose fear in the way that you didn't. That's where the jealousy is coming in. They don't know how to not allow their fears to control all of their decision making, right? They don't know how to stop being stuck in their fears. And so there is a jealousy toward you because it seems like it's so effortless for you to do that. And it's only because you follow your intuition. It's only because you follow spiritual guidance. It's only because you do the work. It's not because these same fears don't come up for you. That's what they need to realize. It's not because these same things don't trouble you. You just don't stop at that point, and they do. And there's this energy that they're kind of jealous, and they don't understand how you are so, I don't know, I'm hearing all knowing. Like, they feel like you just know what to do. And the truth is, you don't. You just don't give up. That's the difference. You don't give up. And the universe manages to support you. Yeah. Okay. So with this energy of emotions that are running very, very high. Okay. We have the Queen of Pentacles. So they're seeing you. What they believe is that they're seeing you ground yourself in a world that wasn't, and this is what's coming across, because they're seeing you as the feminine energy, that they're seeing you ground yourself in a world that wasn't built for you, right? And they're seeing you be able to do that, and in their mind do it so gracefully, and they're questioning why they have so much fear in the truth of their own spirit. Like, it's almost like they don't want to discover that their soul isn't as resilient as yours. And running from that discovery has only continued to orient them toward the wrong pathway. So before we look at the cards on the bottom of the deck, don't forget to like this video and subscribe so that I can connect deeper into your energy and provide you with clearer messages. You can also connect with me at Official Chinez on TikTok and Instagram, and follow my video essay channel here on YouTube at Channeling Chinez. Okay, so lifestyle at the bottom of the deck. This is really about letting go of toxic masculinity, really. Like we'll look at our bottom of the deck clarifier. Wow, yeah. So 5 of Swords in reverse. This is about struggling to let go of toxic masculinity, struggling to let go of a lifestyle where we don't give to feminine energy because we feel like that takes away from us. We're seeing that we've been left with nothing. We don't have the community that we actually deeply crave. And we're watching, this feminine, which is you collective, in real time, continue to ground themselves in a world that wasn't created for them. This is why the timeline and the deadline to solidify a relationship with you has now gone out the window, and they feel like everything needs to happen as soon as possible. But Spirit is not going to let things come toward you until it is in a place that is ready, or until you're in a place where you can not accept crumbs and combat this energy and protect your energy for the sake of the growth for both you and this masculine energy. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next Thursday upload.